a brief summary of the episode. Yo, what the fuck? Is that Jack Black? Yo, what the fuck? They also got Lizzo? That's crazy. Yo, there's no way they also pulled Doc Martin. That's insane. See, Mandalorian stay opening with like the jetpack into like the dropkick. It's funny as hell. There we go. Homegirl finally got the fucking Darksaber. I wonder who directed this episode. See, there we go again. Bryce Dallas Howard, baby. Like, just give her a Star Wars series already. All right, so we've only been gone for 2 weeks, but we are back with some Mandalorian action. It's so nice to be recording and talk to you guys again because we've missed so much. So the the galaxy's greatest platonic relationship in both Din Djarin and Bo Katan decide to visit a planet. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the end of the last episode, we had that reveal that it was Mandalorians or something using Mandalorian steel had essentially kidnapped Moff Gideon. And a lot of people were kind of leaning on the fence of, oh, maybe it's the Mandalorians that are out there with Bo Katan's fleet. I don't believe that's the case. It seems as though Woves is just like, I'm out here, I'm a mercenary, I'm doing mercenary things, but at the exact same time, fuck Bo Katan and fuck the Empire. That's basically like his stance. I have a suspicion that it's going to turn around and reveal itself to be the next generation of Dark Troopers that Moff Gideon was working on, where the ones he had on his ship may have been the prototype versions, and then the updated versions are in some way, shape, or form using the Mandalorian steel, Beskar, because we know the Empire's had just troves of Beskar that they didn't know how to turn into armor, but they knew how to turn and melt down into like those blocks, those ignots. That's a difficult word to say for some reason, but here we are regardless. So yeah, I have a feeling that that's basically what it's gonna turn out to be. Now, for the most part, the journey, super interesting. It's nice having all of the callbacks. Also, there were a ton of celebrity cameos that I was not expecting in any way, shape, or form. You had both Jack Black and Lizzo, which caught me off guard. You had my boy Doc from Back to the Future. He was in this, which caught me off guard. I like the callback to season 1 in regards to the Ugnaught that Din worked with, Ugui. I can't say his name. It ain't happening at 4 a.m. I'm super sorry. But I like the callback to that where Bo-Katan kind of walks in and she's like demanding and bossy, and he just kind of like ignore her. And Din basically falls back on what he learned from his time having a friend that was an Ugnaught, and he's like, he walks in and he's like, I'm stating my reason, I have spoken. Then they all sit down. He shows them respect because, they're engineers and they're craftsmen and things along those lines. They're not just workers that you can talk down to, and they give him the information that he's looking for. I like the fact that we actually got name drops for Count Dooku, and we almost got a name drop for Anakin. I feel as though if they had let Doc talk for like 5 more seconds, he'd have probably said something along the lines of like, Count Dooku was betrayed by and defeated by like that young Jedi Knight Anakin fucking Skywalker or something along those lines. That would have been super dope. I would have really, really enjoyed that. The meat and potatoes, though, the reason why we're here, the creme de la creme, definitely has to do with the entire final sequence between Bo Katan and Woves. I like the fact that he still respects her, but at the same time, he's disappointed in her. Like, he would have followed Bo Katan into the fires of Mount Doom if she asked him to. But the problem was she basically gave up the Darksaber to Din, and she refused to basically fight him, beat him, and take the saber for herself. As a direct result, her Mandalorian warriors, who you can see that they all love her and they respect her, because she walks up and they're like, oh my god, it's Bo Katan, what is she doing here? It's like the matriarch is finally returning home. And he he accepts the honorable duel, Mandalorian duels are funny as hell because you know that three things are gonna happen in a Mandalorian duel. Number one, somebody is gonna get drop kicked. Number two, the flamethrower is coming out at some point in time. And number three, somebody is gonna get caught with that Mandalorian rope and either dragged across the room or dragged down from a structure. And all three of those things absolutely happened in this fight. And I like the fact that, like, she was taking shots. It wasn't like any type of pull shots. My boy Axe was he was laying some haymakers into Bo, but she's just a superior fighter. She was able to outthink him and be like 3 chess moves ahead. He throws her off the airplane thing. She fires the trapping rope around him and drags him down with her. Then she's able to like pin him down on the ground and finally win the duel. Love it. I also like how Din turned over the Darksaber, because I knew that eventually she was either going to get the Darksaber through having to fight Din in an honorable duel or something else happening. I prefer it being this way, which is the way in which Din Djarin saw it. Was he was defeated, the Darksaber was taken from him, Bo Katan arrived, she defeated the enemy that he couldn't, saved his life with the Darksaber, and as a direct result, the Darksaber is now hers. This is the equivalent of the Elder Wand in Harry Potter, where the order of transfer was from Din to creepy crab robot thing. Then when Bo showed up and beat creepy crab robot thing, it transferred over to her, and he's just basically been carrying it around, waiting for the moment to basically just turn it over to her. I like that. I also like the fact that she saw the Mythosaur, which means that we are moving towards a Bo Katan reuniting the people of Mandalore, or all Mandalorians on Mandalore, now that we know that Mandalore is habitable. And I've said it before, but I really feel as though Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are moving towards something interesting. And that something interesting definitely has to do with the planet Mandalore itself. Because now that we know that no signals can come off the planet, no signals can get on the planet, you have the perfect planet to use and explain why during the sequel trilogy there were no Mandalorians and then there was no sign of Grogu. Because he was basically just isolated on this world, helping them rebuild their civilization in the shadows of the universe before, you know, they decide to step out back on the galactic stage. That is perfect. That perfectly explains away where these characters are during the sequel trilogy and why they didn't show up to basically help fight off the First Order, because they had basically retreated back to the home world that everyone in the galaxy thought was a dead world, to rebuild their civilization and repopulate it. I love it. I enjoy it. This episode was dope as hell. Bryce Dallas Howard, once again, she shows up and she absolutely fucking eats. She leaves no crumbs. Like, I've said it before and I say it again, I feel as though Disney, and by extension Lucasfilms, should stop searching for a director for a new trilogy of Star Wars movies. Your director, she has always been right there. Just go ahead, go to Bryce Dallas Howard and have her sit down with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and just craft out this dope ass story and have her direct the entire thing, because I feel as though she would do a fantastic job. But yeah, that's the end of the review for this latest episode of The Mandalorian. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Comment down below, let me know how you feel, what you think, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.